Malik, thank you for your taking time.
Thank you for having me.
First of all, how significant is the Kızı Abşeron wind power plant in the company's long-term regional plans?
Before I give you more details on your question or respond to your question on our first investment in Azerbaijan, which is Kızı Abşeron wind power project, let me introduce who we are. ACWA is a leading developer, investor and operator of power, water desalination and hydrogen assets. ACWA is based in Saudi Arabia and listed in Saudi Stock Exchange. Since its inception in 2004, ACWA over a period of last 22 years has managed to develop a project in all sectors, as I said, in power, water desalination and hydrogen. At this point in time, there are total 95.7 gigawatt of power assets in our management, including 9.7 million cubic meter of water in desalination water, and at the same time we have investments in battery storage, more than 5.7 gigawatt hours, and hydrogen as well. All of these projects which I just described are either in construction, operation or advanced development stage. As far as your question on Kızı Abşeron is concerned, this project is a 240 megawatt wind project. The total project cost is close to $340 million. And this project is the largest in Caucasus region with a utility scale wind project with a capacity of 240 megawatt and 37 wind turbines. We have achieved the commercial operation back in January. And this project is going to benefit Azerbaijan a lot from economical perspective, from energy transition perspective. And thanks to His Excellency, the President of Azerbaijan and his amazing team who supported this foreign direct investment into this largest wind project in Azerbaijan, we have been able to successfully complete the project ahead of time.
And what new energy projects is ACWA planning to invest in across Azerbaijan in the future?
I think at this point of time, in addition to this project, which is a wind project, a power project, and just to let you know that so far we have been able to generate 400 million kilowatt hours in the first 5 months of this year, and it is expected that this wind power project is going to add more than 1 billion kilowatt hour in Azerbaijan for the consumers of Azerbaijan and for the government of Azerbaijan. In addition to this project, we have been working very closely with Azer Energy for developing more projects, both in battery storage and wind project. As His Excellency Mr. President during his inauguration speech today of Baku Energy Week, he clearly mentioned that Azerbaijan needs much more power in the renewable sector in next 5 to 6 years, and we are working very closely with the Ministry of Energy and Ministry of Economy in developing more projects both in battery storage and more importantly in wind sector.
And what steps is ACWA taking in Azerbaijan to support local experts and workforce capacity?
This is a very important subject for ACWA. Our vision and mission has always been that in order to take it back, ACWA Power portfolio, I'm just taking you one more step back. ACWA Power portfolio of 95.7 gigawatt of power, 9.7 million cubic meter of water per day, we are doing it in 15 countries around the world. And ACWA mission and vision has always been to promote the local entrepreneurs, local employment, local youth, in order to give something back to the society. When we go to a new country or any country, we just don't go for sake of just business. We give it back to the society as well. And there are many examples for that. But coming to Azerbaijan, on our first project, which I said 240 megawatt of wind project in Kizi and Absheron, we have obtained services or contracting or another form of project capital. We have invested more than $68.5 million on this project. And in addition to that, for example, we are one more project which we are already construction has started is a 300,000 cubic meter water per day project which we have won through a competitive bidding process in Sumgait region. And our start has always been to make sure that we take the youth from the community, we encourage the local contractors, we encourage and support the local manufacturing, and we work with the technical institutes, which Sumgait is an industrial area and there are a lot of technical institutes there, in order to work closely with them to make sure that we attract the youth and do the capacity building in the country, because that's the youth and the next generation who's going to support the country in its future in both industry, in economy, etc.
And how do you assess the impact of green energy projects on Azerbaijan economic development and job creation?
Job creation, you see all of these renewable projects that are coming, skilled, unskilled, technical, non-technical, financial, commercial, and in the business management. Number one, they are all the people. Like I said, our target is that we take as much local employment as possible, as available, and grow them. It is going to help a lot. It is going to change the vision of the students who see actual employment and business that is out there. And this is how we are seeing them learning, because they are extremely talented. The youth of Azerbaijan is extremely talented, and we firmly believe that we provide them training, and hopefully, after these projects continue to build, these people will work with us outside Azerbaijan as well, in any of these 15 countries where we are operating.
And what advantages distinguish Azerbaijan's wind and solar potential from other markets in the region?
Look, I think, to be very honest with you, wind is, in our opinion, Azerbaijan is very blessed with a very good wind resource, high wind speed, and the capacity factor of the wind projects here in Azerbaijan are higher than some of the other countries where we are putting together or installing wind project. So, and secondly, Azerbaijan is at the crossroads between the Central Asia, the Caucasus, and Europe. The generation of power that can come from Central Asia, combined with electrons and generations from Azerbaijan and its neighbor countries, and exporting that power to Europe is something which the country has been working under the leadership of His Excellency Mr. President and Ministry of Energy and Ministry of Economy, and they all are they're becoming a bond, a crossroad, a bond between East and the West. And this is how, in our opinion, the wind resources both in Azerbaijan and Central Asia can be utilized to export power to much needed countries in Europe.
You talk about Azerbaijan's so important role for Central Asia. What roles does Azerbaijan play in ACWA's Central Asia strategy?
I think, if you look at it, Azerbaijan, because of our presence in Central Asia, especially in Uzbekistan, it helped us in deploying a lot of financing in Azerbaijan and vice versa. We have managed to bring all the leading financing institutes for our project in Kizi Absheron, and then our new project, which is a Caspian seawater reverse osmosis plant, desalination plant, which we are putting together in Sumgayit region, Azerbaijan is going to help again in not only for itself, but all the leading investors like ACWA in putting together the generation projects in Azerbaijan and then transmitting that electrons either through onshore wind or offshore wind through Black Sea to Europe. And they are going to play a very important role. You know, there are a lot of projects that are being discussed at the moment between Azerbaijan and Turkey and Georgia, and even in Central Asia, countries like Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan. All of this combined will add a lot of value, not only for ACWA, but for the neighboring countries through a green corridor, which they are working right now with their neighboring countries to export power to Europe.
And what factors could turn Azerbaijan into a regional green energy hub?
This is exactly what I talked about. This green corridor, there are two green corridors we are talking about, or energy corridor we are talking about. One is importing power from countries like Uzbekistan primarily and Kazakhstan through Caspian Sea under the subsea cable to Azerbaijan, and combining that power and adding more power into that through Georgia and through the Black Sea to Europe. So if this project, which Azerbaijan has initiated along with Central Asia and other countries, if this project, which I'm very sure it will succeed, it will take some time, but it will succeed, will elevate Azerbaijan to a completely different level on the world map.
And finally, so important topic between two countries' relationship. How do you see the future prospects of the energy cooperation between Azerbaijan and Saudi Arabia?
Look, Azerbaijan and Saudi Arabia has been enjoying years of bilateral relationship, brotherly country relationship, trade relationship, and I think this collaboration, if we look at us as ACWA, we have invested close to $750 million so far. And there are, inshallah, more projects in the pipeline. And this is not just because of business relation. It is one of the important bilateral relations. Years of strong bonding between Saudi Arabia and Azerbaijan has paved the way for companies like ACWA to invest into Azerbaijan. And not only because this investment is not just because of this bilateral relationship. Azerbaijan offers a lot of investor-friendly environment here. The policies here, the transparency here, and the ease of doing business here. So all of this combined is becoming a very investor-friendly country for investors like ACWA, and I'm sure there are many others who feel the same way for Azerbaijan.
Mr. Malik, thank you for your taking time and the answers.
Thank you very much for having me. Thank you.